Hi, welcome to this edition of On Tap, presented by FCSI of the Americas. I'm Wade Kaler, Executive Director. On Tap this week, we welcome the FCSI of the Americas current treasurer and the dude, Jeff Lebowski, doppelganger. Please help me welcome Principal and Vice President of Clevenger Associates, the dude himself, Mr. Brent Hall. Hey, Brent, welcome to the show, buddy.
Hey, thanks for having me, Wade. Nice intro. That was a fun night.
Yeah, you grew out the beard, so you kind of ruined it on me, but we'll still stick with it because if anybody doesn't believe me, they can go to FCSI's web page, go to the event page where we had the conference in Denver. And dude, I don't think anybody came close to looking like you did for anyone else. It was truly amazing.
Yeah, it came out much better than I thought.
You know, as we've talked about in the past, and you've been involved with all the talks about On Tap, you know, we like to just kind of use these as for our members and the general public to get to know our FCSI members and what you guys do and what FCSI is all about. So the easiest one to start with everybody is just tell me a little bit about your background, how you got started in the hospitality industry and that led you into becoming a food service consultant.
Oh, sure. Jeez, I don't know how much time we have. I started back, 1984. Was previously in Southern California, grew up there, and went to work for a small KEC, and little different back then. We were a KEC that also had a custom fabrication shop. So we go ahead and bid and collect all the buyouts and as well as build all the custom fab. Got the opportunity to go there out of high school. A friend of mine's dad owned the company. Okay. And got in there, fell in love with it. Knew I wanted to kind of make my way up, up the chain, so to speak. So I worked there for a few years, got stainless fab kind of under my belt. Mm-hmm. And then I left and went to a high-end millwork fabricator to learn all the front of the house stuff. And, salad bars, booths, all that kind of thing. Worked there for a few years, decided it was time to go on to one of the bigger KECs back in the day, or dealers nowadays they call them, right?
Yeah.
I worked there for a few years and jumped to another company, which is kind of what led me up here. Worked for them for a couple of years, and the owner of that company gave us the opportunity to move up to Washington. Okay. And I always wanted to move up here, didn't want to raise the kids in Southern California, really. Wanted to get them a little lot more out in the woods. And that job went away real quick because the owner of that company decided he didn't want to do that anymore.
Oh, okay.
And so I called there I was in Washington with a new baby and been here maybe 2 months and had no job. So I called a friend of mine in Southern California, and he was on the phone. I had him call me back, but he knew why I was calling. And he says, "You ever heard of Tony Clevenger?" And I said, "Oh, well, yeah, done a lot of Tony Clevenger's projects in the past." And he says, "Well, he's waiting for your call." And in a few weeks, that'll be 25 years ago.
Wow. Congratulations.
I started with Clevenger.
Very cool. Yeah. So with Clevenger, is there any, for you, I know you guys kind of touch on everything as far as a firm goes, but for you personally, is there any certain segments, like top 3 or 4, that maybe you work on personally?
Oh, Wade, now I'm kind of involved in everything,
Okay.
But we do pretty much all the market segments, B&I, hospitality, K through 12. And I kind of just oversee them all, had experience in all of them, being here 25 years. And we kind of have our project managers that we, hand, like one of my guys here takes care of K through 12 stuff, and another one will take care of B&I work. So we kind of break it down that way.
Now, a couple years ago, you also merged with a Midwest firm in Iowa and the Norman clan. How has that changed the landscape for Clevenger?
It's been a great way. I met them through FCSI, of course, and we started talking about, just doing some Revit work for them and that kind of thing, and talked more and more and saw an opportunity. Yeah. And obviously it's broadened our landscape. We've always been an international firm, but, in the States, it may be more West Coast. Yeah. So it's allowed us to pick up a lot of projects in the Midwest. Yeah. And it's been a fantastic relationship. So glad that we did it.
Nice. Is there, of all the projects you've worked on in 25 years, is there maybe 1 or 2 that ever stand out for you that you're most proud of?
I don't know about most proud, but one that was real good for us in 2008, when we had the big crash or whatever you want to call it back then. we were in a situation where we had no work, and I had to lay off. We were just the one office back then, but Tony was starting to pay payroll out of his
Yeah.
pocket. We had to lay 5 people off one day, which
Oh,
was
wow.
just horrible. But fortunately, we got a job over in Saudi Arabia in the holy city of Mecca, and we got 13 five-star hotels in a
Oh,
complex to
wow.
do over there.
Wow.
And amazing project. I'd never, been involved in something like that before, but more
Yeah.
importantly, it saved us. It kept
Yeah.
us busy for 4 years during that time. So that's probably one that I look back upon the most.
Is there any one of them in your past that maybe you aren't don't really like to talk about because maybe you had a screw up or made a mistake? And if so, what's one of those mistakes you've made that you learned from and became a better consultant from?
I'm trying to think. We fortunately, haven't had anything major. I can remember my first project when I was a project manager, still in California. And back then, you still needed plugs for a griddle, which I forgot on a job. And I'll never forget that because I had to go back to the boss and give him an extra for adding another outlet.
Yeah,
And but it's funny now to this day, every time I put in a griddle or something, I always think about that time.
absolutely, absolutely. What is one thing about Brent that no one would ever guess when they meet you?
Maybe that I'm an outdoor woodsy guy,
Yeah, yeah,
animal freak, like lots of animals. We have lots of animals.
kind of a lumberjack kind of guy, right? You like
Yeah,
to
there
be
you
out in the
go.
doors, riding bikes, and being among the animals, and
Yeah. We've got 40 acres out in the middle of the
yeah,
woods, basically.
right.
So we've got the horses and donkeys and llamas and chickens and cow and all that kind of stuff. So it keeps you busy. I really enjoy being out there.
So from last season, we had one of our guests, obviously Eric from the Fuse was on with all of his animals. The next conference, I'm going to have to get the two of you together, and you can discuss like your animal. I don't,
Yeah,
I don't understand it completely. I think you're both a little crazy, but I think it's great that you have that passion, and it's pretty amazing because
yeah.
I don't think I have the patience for it. Is my problem. So.
Well, it makes for a lot of chores.
Absolutely. That's what I mean. I'm probably too lazy more than the patience thing, to be honest with you. It's probably about that. Um, 25 years, you own your own firm. What's one piece of advice you'd give to somebody thinking of making a career change or going to hospitality school or something that about becoming a food service consultant? What's one piece of advice you'd give?
I've had to learn there's a lot of patience. I used to be a lot more, I don't know, aggravated easily and that kind of thing. I think patience is important, and of course, listening to that client and understanding what they want.
Yeah.
Don't ever be afraid to ask if you don't understand something.
Yeah.
I might not know the answer to everything for that client, but I'll get right back to them. I'll figure it out and get right back to them, and I think that's important.
Absolutely. Great advice. What are three things that if I was to go to your friends or family and ask them, they would say about you?
Oh wow, you gonna ask my wife?
Well, we might have to bring her on actually to see if they.
um,
It's not the newlywed game. We're not going to compare answers though. I promise.
um, I guess dedicated to my craft. I guess my family and friends tell me I work way too much. I don't know. I always kind of say I'm married to the job, but
Yeah.
I've gotten better over the years. I've gotten better
Okay.
over the years and trying to put family more first before the job. But they'd probably tell you I work too much.
What's you're getting ready to travel to see a client, whether it's a site visit or maybe a meeting. What are three things that are must-haves to take with you?
Oh well, laptop, of course, sketch paper, and a blue pencil.
Okay. So the other thing about being a consultant, talking to you all through the years, is at some point or another, you're going to run into a mental block, whether it's writing or drawing or designing on the computer, whatever it may be. When you come up against that mental block, do you have a tip or trick that you recommend to people to kind of overcome that works for you?
I walk away, Wade. I
Okay.
get up and do something else. I find a lot of times, and unfortunately, it doesn't work out timing wise, but I don't know what it is. I'll do something that day, work on a drawing, work on a design, maybe be struggling, but that night at home, it'll hit me, that's how we do it,
Yeah.
and then, go back the next day and it flows and works much better.
Very good. Very good. Now, as the owner of the firm, I have to ask it, what task or tasks deserves a lot of your attention, but rarely or seldom gets that attention?
I don't know. It's more for my personal growth that I would like to pay more attention to Revit and the workings of Revit.
Okay.
And when I was young, I wanted to be an architect as a kid. Loved drawing, always drew through high school, took all the drafting classes back with the pencils and pen and all that stuff. I went into AutoCAD, felt real proficient at AutoCAD.
Yeah.
But once we made the jump to Revit, I wasn't drawn too much anymore. And I wish I knew Revit better and had the time to learn Revit.
Well, hey, that's all the formal questions I've got for you today. But before we let you go, we do like to have a little bit of fun with you. I've got a speed round here of questions, and so we'll just dive right into these to kind of get to know Brent a little bit more on the personal side. What's your favorite breakfast cereal?
Oh, peanut butter Captain Crunch. Haven't had it in years, but that's my favorite.
That's a really good one. Honestly, that's my favorite breakfast cereal of all time. Is that the same one you had when you were a kid?
Oh yeah. It's always been peanut butter crunch.
Fancy restaurant or local dive?
I guess local dive.
What's a vice that you just can't seem to part with?
Personally, motorcycles, I guess.
Puppies or kittens?
Oh, puppies for sure. Just got a new one.
Nice. What kind of puppy did you get?
Got another lab. Got a charcoal lab this time. We've always had labs.
Nice. Do you sing in the shower? Yes or no?
No.
And I know you're up in the Washington area and traffic can get a little hairy at times. What is something you do to pass the time when you're stuck in traffic?
Oh, I'm not supposed to say this. Check my phone.
We won't
it's in the holder.
We won't tell anybody.
Yeah. Well, when you're dead stopped in the traffic, it's not that bad.
Yeah, exactly. Live on a moon base or live on a Mars base?
I think it's got to be moon base. I wouldn't want that trip to Mars. It'd be way too long.
I agree. If you were given $1,000 to spend on your closest friend, what would you get them?
How much is a nice bottle of scotch?
I think $1,000 would probably take care of that.
Yeah.
A very big bottle.
A nice bottle of wine too. How's that? A really nice bottle of wine.
Okay. Would you consider yourself more spontaneous or a planner?
Oh, I got to plan things out.
Okay.
I got to think it through and take the time. But that's probably one of my downfalls. I need to think and make moves quicker.
All right. So you're put in charge of the office vending machine. What are the 3 objects that have to go in your vending machine?
Oh, I'm not really a big junk food guy. Well, there's got to be, I guess, a variety of chips, maybe Doritos.
Okay.
And I guess every vending machine's got to have a candy bar, so it's got to be a Snickers, I guess. And maybe some cookies. There got to be cookies in there, Nutter Butters.
Are you a morning person or a night owl?
Oh, morning person for sure. I'm in bed pretty early.
Soft tacos or crunchy tacos?
Oh, soft.
Coke or Pepsi?
Not too much anymore, but it was always Coke.
Cookies or brownies?
I guess I'll go brownies, especially if my mom makes them.
Oh, mom's brownies are always the best.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. Are you more of a day planner user or more of a digital calendar user?
Digital calendar.
Okay.
Took me a long time to switch, but I'm pretty much all digital calendar now.
And the last one I've got for you, if humans came with a warning label, what would the warning label you wear say about you?
I know where you come up with these, Wade. I want to say caution something. I don't know, Wade. I can't come up with one for that. You're putting me under the pressure.
I know. That's what I do, buddy. That's what I'm good at.
Yeah. Wade, I can't. You're blanking me.
I would give you that probably your warning label is looks ferocious, but is actually a big teddy bear.
That's probably a good one. I'd agree with you.
All right, good.
Yeah, pretty much a softie.
Well, that's all I've got for you. Brent, share with the audience how people can get a hold of you or your firm or find out more information.
Oh, yeah. It's just you can get us through our website or get me through our website, ClevengerAssociates.com.
Okay.
And it's Clevenger with just the ASSOC.com.
Okay. Perfect. Well, that wraps up another edition of On Tap presented by FCSI of the Americas. A huge thank you to Brent today for joining us. We can't do this show without members like yourself. If you enjoyed today's episode, make sure to subscribe to the show wherever you find your favorite podcasts and to turn on those notifications so you don't miss out on any future episodes. But until then, cheers.